Why am I so nervous? Hey y'all, and welcome to my channel. This is obviously my first video ever. Here on my channel you can find everything to do with beauty and makeup. I want to put out a little disclaimer. I am completely 100% self-taught. I have never been to beauty school, cosmetology school. I have no license whatsoever. I am not a professional. I just want to get that out there just so that everybody knows, and to cut me a little slack, because I am not perfect and not everything that you're going to see on this channel is going to be perfect. I hope that's okay with you. My main message to put out on my channel is I want everybody to celebrate themselves. So celebrate you. Whether you is a full face of makeup, a face without a stitch of makeup, or somewhere in between, celebrate yourself because you're wonderful, you're beautiful, and you're special. I don't care if somebody thinks you're wearing too much makeup, and I don't care if somebody thinks you're wearing not enough. I do makeup because I love it, and I'm gonna celebrate myself, and that's exactly what I want you to do. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video, even if you have no idea who I am, because I can promise you that half the people watching this video is my family and my friends. So what's up, guys? Oh my god, why are you like this? This is the look that I filmed today. This is just my summer daytime glam looks. So if you guys are interested in seeing this look and how I achieved it, please keep on watching. So like you always should, I'm going to start out with a clean moisturized face, then go in with my Smashbox primer water and just spritz that everywhere. As well, I'm going to use my Benefit POREfessional primer. Just a little bit of a smoothing technique that I like to use is a pore primer, a pore minimizing primer. It really helps make everything look smooth. Then with Naked Skin Color Corrector by Urban Decay, I'm using the pink shade to minimize dark spots and tapping that out with a damp beauty blender. I'm going to use that same correcting fluid but in the shade green just to minimize the appearance of rosacea and all that redness I have going on, and I'm just going to tap all that out with my hands. I find that this works best. For foundation, I'm going to be using Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Water Concealer, just a few drops on the back of my hand. This is the shade Fair Neutral. I love this foundation. It makes me look airbrushed and dewy, but not too dewy, while keeping all my oil controlled. And I'm going to buff that out with Morphe's M439 brush. This is literally the best foundation brush I've ever used. I definitely recommend you guys trying this out if you can get your hands on it. It makes me look seamless and airbrushed. It's the best one that I found. And just patting that all over my face and dragging it down to my neck. To set, I'm using Hourglass Luminous Lighting Powder with a large Kevyn Aucoin powder brush and just dusting that all over my face to lock everything in place. To highlight, I'm going to use the Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Concealer in the shade Fair Neutral. I'm going to draw upside down triangles underneath my eyes to brighten and reduce the appearance of dark circles. And I'm also going to be placing that concealer on the bridge of my nose, in the center of my forehead, and on my chin. My chin because that's where my foundation fades most throughout the day. Also because that's the center of my face, so I want to brighten that. Just like I want to brighten the bridge of my nose and the center of my forehead, and tapping all that out with a damp beauty blender. With my Real Techniques complexion sponge, I'm going to take the flat end and dip it into my Sonia Kashuk brightening powder and bake underneath my eyes. And then for eyebrows, I'm going to be using my Anastasia Brow Wiz in the shade Medium Brown. I like a darker brow, what can I say? I'm just going to go ahead and use the spoolie end just to brush my hairs down so that I can follow the natural line of my brow, and just go ahead and fill them in and shape them to my desired eyebrow look. And then with Anastasia's Brow Powder Duo in the shade Taupe, I'm just going to go in with the brush that they provide for me in that little kit and fill in all the sparseness and just make them a little bit sharper than my Brow Wiz did. And I'll just go ahead and use the darker shade for the back ends of my brow, for example, the arch, and then the lighter shade for the front ends of my brow to create a gradient effect. Now I'm going to take whatever is left over on the end of that beauty blender from when I patted out my concealer. Is patted even a word? And I'm just going to kind of tap over the fronts of my brows to make them look a little bit more natural and not as dark. And then after that, I'll go ahead and take my Brow Wiz and just spoolie them out so they're not as dark and create some hair-like effects at the front. And with my Anastasia Clear Brow Gel, I'm just going to go ahead and run those through my brows to set. And then I'm going to take my large fluffy brush again and my little highlighting brush from Morphe and just dust away all that baking that I did. Now with Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Bronzer, I'm going to take my e.l.f. contour brush and just make a contour right underneath my cheekbone from the top of my ear down towards the center of my mouth. And then just once I get that line on there, I like to mimic little up and down motions just to kind of blend it out and make it not like an exact line. We lost a brush, but we got it back. Then with my number 44 Sephora brush, I'm just going to go ahead and blend everything out so that I don't have super harsh lines on my face. And then I'm going to take a smaller version of that brush by Real Techniques and do the same on my forehead and on my nose just to get a little bit of a contour that's not so intense for a daytime look. I'm going to drag that color down to my jawline just to contour down there to minimize the appearance of a double chin and just to make my jawline a little bit sharper so that that contour really flows all over my face. With Benefit's Dandelion brush and my Morphe E4 from the Elite Collection, I'm just going to go ahead and put that on the tops of my cheekbones above my contour just to give me a nice flush of color. And it's perfect for the spring and the summer. This blush is heavenly on the skin. And then I'm going to go ahead and just blend it out with that big stippling brush. Next, I'm going to take my concealer again and just draw a line underneath my contour closer to my jawline just to make it look a little bit sharper. And with my Beauty Blender, I'm going to blend that down, not up into my contour shade. I got a little bit too high on that side of my face, but that's okay. You can blend it down if that happens to you. And then I'm going to take that Sonia Kashuk powder on my Elite Collection contour brush from Morphe, dip it in there, and just cover up that concealer to bake it so it's nice and bright, just like the unders of my eye, so it all flows and looks very cohesive. I'm going to be using Eden Eye Primer from Urban Decay just to mattify my lids and help make sure I don't have any creasing going on with my eyeshadows today. And just rubbing that all over the lids and the inner corners, and clean off my brushes with my Color Switch from Sephora. And with my Bobbi Brown Eye Sweep, I'm going to take that lightest shade from the Kat Von D palette and set all that priming that I did on my eyelids and under eyes. With a large fluffy crease brush from IT Cosmetics, I'm going to dip that into my Hoola bronzer, and I'm going to go ahead and buff that all into my crease as a transition shade. This bronzer is the best color and powder that I've ever come across to use as an actual transition shade. There's no other eyeshadow out there that's a neutral brown color that I've ever found that works as well as this. So if you haven't tried it as a crease transition shade, please do. It'll change your life. And then I'm going to take a little Luxie crease brush, and I'm going to go into my Kat Von D palette again and just take that brown color right there and go ahead and put that on the outer corners of my eyes just to add a little bit of definition. And then I'm going to bring it up into the corners of the crease so that my eyes look a little bit bigger and a little bit brighter. And then just as a precaution, I'm going to pick back up my large fluffy brush from IT Cosmetics with that leftover Hoola on it and just blend out over where I put that dark shadow just to avoid any harsh lines. And with MAC Nylon, I'm going to go ahead and take my Eye Sweep brush again and just pat that on there and put it onto the centers of my eyelids just for a little bit of pop to my eyes since I have all those dark neutrals going on. I was thinking that it wasn't bright enough for me today, so I took my MAC Fix Plus and I went ahead and sprayed my brush and dipped it back into my MAC Nylon and patted that over top of what I had already put on the center of my lids just to create a brighter and a more foiled effect to that eyeshadow in the center of my eye. The secret to shadow is to blend, and do some more blending. So I'm picking up that blender brush again and blending everything out so it's all flawless and smooth and cohesive. And with that Luxie brush, I'm going to take the rust color from the Kat Von D palette and put it in the outer corner and crease to add a little bit of color just because I didn't like how dull that it was looking. So this just adds a nice shade of a red just to give it a little oomph. And then with my large fluffy brush from IT Cosmetics, I'm going to take that orangey color and just buff that in over the top of my Hoola transition shade in my crease. And then I'm going to pick up a small concealer brush and dip that into my MAC Nylon and go ahead and highlight my brow bone. And then I'm also going to pick up a crease brush from Bobbi Brown after that, and I'm going to dip it into my MAC Nylon as well and just dust that into my inner corners. I don't know why I said dust, because I really pack it on because I like the inner corners of my eyes to be nice and bright. Then with an e.l.f. small angled brush, I'm going to go into that brown color I used on my eyes and line underneath my waterline. And with my fluffy brush, I'll go ahead and just kind of blend that out once I get it underneath my waterline. And then next, I'm going to go back into the Kat Von D Shade Light Eye Palette, and I'm going to dip into that black. I'm going to use this as a bit of a liner on top of that brown, just so that it gives it more of a natural smoked out look. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on both sides of my eyes, and then we will blend it out shortly. Get all that excess black off of that small angled brush from e.l.f. I put it into my color switch and then make sure it's all gone on the back of my hand. And then I just go in and kind of smoke out and blend out all that black so it's not just a harsh black line underneath my eyeball. With Kat Von D's liquid felt tip liner in the shade Trooper, I think this is called the Ink Tattoo Liner, I go ahead and create a wing. So basically what you want to do is just pretend like you're bringing out that line that's your waterline and angle it up towards the corner of your brow. And once you draw that out, just go ahead and connect it to the center of your lid and just fill in any areas that don't have any liner and just kind of take it all the way into your inner corner. If you mess up like me, don't worry, it can be fixed. Just wipe it off and start over. And just make sure that there is no skin color coming through that liner. And then I'm going to take my eyelash curler and go ahead and curl those lashes to get them ready for some falsies. But first, I'm going to take my Dior waterproof crayon liner in the shade black and just tight line. And with my Ardell Whispies in the shade black, I'm going to apply some false lashes. But first I gotta use this strip lash adhesive and I brush it on to my lashes. Please make sure you are patient and you wait for that lash glue to dry at least for 60 seconds. It's so much easier to apply lashes. I went ahead and dusted off that baking underneath my contour while I waited. And I went ahead and applied those, and then with my Benefit Roller Lash, I'm just going to coat all my lashes and make sure mine are the same color as the falsies, and make sure they're nice and curled and big and stand out. And then I'm going to waterline with that Dior pencil again, just to make it look nice and smoky and make my eyes pop. And I'll go ahead and coat my lower lashes with a bit of that Roller Lash by Benefit as well. To highlight today, I'm going to use Urban Decay's 8-Hour Afterglow Highlighting Powder with my Real Techniques setting brush. This is in the shade Sin, and I just pack that on to the tops of my cheekbones, above my eyebrows, down the bridge of my nose, and on my Cupid's bow. For lips, I'm going to use my Kylie Lip Kit. This is in the shade Cocoa K. I go ahead and just overline my lips a little bit, but not too much. And then just take one swipe of that liquid lipstick, and I am good to go. And just make sure it's all nice and even. And then I take my Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray, put it all over, and just let that sink in and lock it all up. Alright y'all, this is the finished look. I hope you guys like it. I love doing this look, so I really hope you guys enjoyed. Again, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I look forward to filming another video for y'all. I literally can't wait, so mwah, thank you, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!